Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the SAT Official Study Guide 2020. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. Always make sure the book is in front of you. Today we'll solve some problems that you will find in section number 4 on page number 999. Let's turn to it. Page number 999, number 1. In number 1 we are given a little graph here that looks something like this. I'm going to do the best I can here. There we go. And the question simply is, what is the greatest change from one year to next year? The greatest change, as you can see, we go from here to here, 1 year, another year, another year, another year, another year, another year, another year, and finally we have this one, and this is where it has the steepest slope. It's a very simple, very straightforward problem. Obviously it's very simple and very straightforward because it's problem number 1. That's where we have the steepest slope, and that's where the greatest change is going to be, and that's from year 2010 to 2011. That's all there is, nothing to it. And that's answer choice B. Number 2. Number 2 we are given 1, 3, 5, 13 and 21. We are given 3 observations on a linear function. We are told that the function is linear. They give us 4 equations, and our job is to find one equation where these 3 observations will occur. Let's find out, shall we? The first one, answer choice A, says, let's erase this number 1 here so that we don't get confused. Answer choice A says 2x plus 3. And don't waste your time with 1 and 5, because whenever they give you a situation like this, the easiest one, the very first one, is going to work on more than one answer choices. Start with the second one. 3 and 13. We're going to work with 3 and 13. When x is equal to 3, according to this function, the y should be 6 plus 3, 9. And that is not the case. Y has to be 13. The answer is not A. B. B says 3x plus 2. When x is equal to 3, it's going to give us 11. And that's not it. We're not looking for 11, we're looking for 13. The answer choice C says 4x plus 1. There you go. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. It works out. Now if you like, if it makes you feel better, you can try one more. Try 5 and 21. When x is equal to 5, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21, and that checks out. The answer is C. Answer choice is not D, obviously, because D simply says 5 times x, and that's not going to work. Let's go on to number 3, shall we? In number 3, in question number 3, we're going to make some muffins. And we are told that we need 2.5 ounces for one muffin. 2.5 ounces of what? I do not know. I did not write it down. Nor does it matter. The question is, how many ounces do I need of chocolate? Actually it is. How many ounces of chocolate do I need if I wanted to make not one muffin, but 48 muffin? Well, let's make 48 muffin then. We already know how much we need for one muffin. Since we want to make 48 muffin, let's make 48 muffins. Multiply both sides by 48. There we go. Now we have 48 muffins. All we have to figure out is, what is 2.5 times 48? 48 times 2.5. Let's find out, shall we? 40 times 2 is 80. Half of 40 is 20. 2 times 8 is 16, and half of 8 is 4. There we go. 6 plus 4 is 10. Oh, that works out very nicely. That's a 0. Carry 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 plus 8 is going to be 10. It's 120. 120 ounces. But they're asking us how many pounds of chocolate we need, not how many ounces. And they go on to tell us the conversion rate. So we have 120 ounces. And they tell us there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. This is something we do not need to know. They will give us the conversion rate. All we have to do is divide 120 by 16. Let's do this, shall we? Let's divide top and bottom by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 12 has 3 4s and 0. Because it's a big fat 0, it has no 4s. Let's divide one more time, top and bottom by 2. Because we can't divide 30 by 4. So it's going to be 15. So essentially it is 15 over 2, which is simply 7.5 pounds. Because the pound, you see the ounces drop out and the pound ends up on top. 7.5 pounds, and that's going to be answer choice A. Answer choice A. Let's do the next one, shall we? Number 4. Oh, number 4 is very easy. Number 4 is just silly. 3 times C plus D, we are told is equal to 5. And the question simply is how much is C plus D? Well, if you want to find C plus D, just divide both sides by 3. That's it. The answer is 5/3. That's answer choice B. Let's go to the next one, shall we? Number 5. In number 5, we are told that the weight on Venus is equal to 9/10 of the weight on Earth. We are further told that the weight on Jupiter is 23rd 10 of the weight on Earth. We are told that the weight on Earth of an object is 100 pounds. Question simply is, how many more pounds does this object weigh on Jupiter compared to what it weighs on Venus? So essentially we're looking for the weight on Jupiter minus the weight on Venus. This is what we're looking for. Let's find out, shall we? So here is our weight on Earth, here is Venus, here is Jupiter. We are told that it weighs 100 pounds on Earth. If something weighs 100 pounds on Earth, on Venus it only weighs 9/10. So 9/10 of 100 is 90. And 23rd 10 of 100 is 230. Oh, there you go. It's just 230 minus 90. 230 minus 90, that's 140. That's 140, and that's answer choice C. That's answer choice C. Let's move on. In the next question, number 6. In number 6, we're going to buy some newspaper and some magazine. We're going to buy N newspaper, and we are told that each costs $4. $4 each. And we're going to buy N of them, N newspaper. And we're going to buy M magazine, and each costs, it should say, I should put each in front of it here. We're going to buy N of them, and each costs $4. We're going to buy M magazine, and each costs $1. We are further told that we bought total of 11 articles, newspaper and magazine, total of 11. There is your first equation. If you bought total of 11, and since we are buying N magazine, N newspaper, and M magazine, there you go. That's your first equation. Newspaper and magazine. We are told that if you spend $20 total. That's our second equation. If we spend $20 total, and since we are buying n newspaper, and each one of them costs $4, n of them are going to cost 4 times n. Since we are buying m magazine, and each one of them costs $1, we're going to spend 1 times m on magazines. That's our second equation. That's our first equation. That's all it is. Substitute one equation in terms of the other and solve for it. Whatever they're looking for. They're looking for n. So this tells us that m equals 11 minus n. Since we are interested in n, let's express this thing in n. 11 minus n, this equation tells us. This is, my handwriting is not very good, but this was implication. This is sign for implies. Let's put this equation in here for m, 1m, 11 minus n. 11 minus n plus 4n has to equal 20. 4n minus n is 3n. 20 minus 11 is going to be 9. Well, there you go. It's very straightforward. It looks like each newspaper is going to cost us $3. That's all. And that's answer choice B. That's answer choice B. Number 6. Number 6. Just give me a quick break. Oh, that was number 6. I don't know what the hell I was doing. That was number 6. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7, we have a committee, and we are told that the committee has B members to begin with. Then we are told that each year gets n new members each year. Each year the committee has n new members. Whatever the committee, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is. Also, it doesn't matter. Question is, X years from now, how many total members are we going to have? And they're calling that Y. So let's find out, shall we? So the number of members we're going to have, which is the Y, X years from now, is going to be what we start out with, which is B, which is our intercept, and each year we get n new members, and therefore X years from now we're going to have X times n. There we go. Because every year that goes by we get n new member. After the end of first year we're going to have B plus n. At the end of second year we're going to have B plus 2n. At the end of third year we're going to have B plus 3n, and therefore at the end of X years we're going to have B plus xn, X times n. And that's answer choice A. So that's your slope there. Each year we get n members, that's your slope. N is the slope, and that's our intercept. Not that anybody's asking for it, but that's what that is. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. The only way we're going to get number 8 wrong is if we're being careless. It's not difficult, it's just tedious. So take your time, don't rush, take your time, pay attention. Here's what's given to us. 1.5x minus 2.4 whole squared minus 5.2x squared minus 6.4. When you're opening this parenthesis, pay attention to this negative. This negative is going to apply to this guy and that guy. In other words, negative times negative is going to eventually become positive 6.4. Make sure you pay attention to it, otherwise you're going to end up picking the wrong answer. Let's begin, shall we? We have to open this thing. 1.5x squared minus 2 times 1.5x times 2.4 plus 2.4 squared. So that's the first part. Essentially it is a minus b whole squared. This is our a squared minus 2 times a times b plus b squared. Of course, you already know it. Let's worry about this first before we worry about that part. Let's finish this up first, okay? 1.5 squared, and there is no reason at all, there is no reason in the world at all that should cause you to reach for your calculator and try to figure out what is 1.5 times 1.5. Person who does that during the exam is a sign that that person is not going to get a very good score. There are basic things that you must know by heart if you're going to sit for the exam and if you have any hope at all of getting a decent score. And one of the basic things that you must know are the squares 1 through 20, or at the very least 1 through 15. 15 square is 225. Square of 15 is 225. 225. We don't have 15, we have 1.5. So 1.5 times 1.5, you have to move the decimal 2 spots. It's going to be 2 1/4, 2.25. X squared minus, this is very straightforward, 2 times 1.5 is 3. 3 times 2.4. Again, if you want to find out 3 times 2.4, again, just think logically. You know what 3 times 25 is, don't you? Of course, everybody knows what 3 times 25, what 3 times 25 is. If 25 threes are 75, if you know that 25 threes are 75, then it stands to reason that 24 threes, just one fewer 3, should be 72 instead of 75. 72, except we don't have 72 because it's decimal, it's 7.2. 7.2 x. So that takes care of that part. Now we have to figure out what 24 times 24 is. Okay? I'm not going to stand here and do it in a baby way, one digit at a time. I'm just going to do 24 all together. So stay with me. 24 times 4. 24 times 4. If somebody asks you what 24 times 4 is, would you be able to answer that? You should be able to answer it because you know what 25 times 4 is. Do you know what 25 times 4 is? Of course you know. So if you know that 25 fours are 100, then instead of 25 fours, if you only had 24 fours, it should be 4 less than 100, which is 96. Except it's not going to be 96 because we have, oh, it is 96. So 24 times 4 is 96. So that's a 6, carry 9. You with me? 24 times 2 is 48. 24 times 2 is 48. 48 plus 10 would have been 58. But it's not going to be 58, it is 9, so it's 57. There we go, 57. Except it's not going to be 576 because we don't have 24 times 24. We have 2.4. 2.4 times 2.4, we have to move the decimal place spots. Decimal place 2 spots. We pick up and move it 2 spots, 5.76. I'm going to erase all this thing because it's getting very crowded. So that part is done. That part is all done. We are finished with it. Let's do this part now. Now we're working on this part here. So we're going to open the thing. Make sure you pay attention to negative. So it's going to be negative 5.2 x squared, and negative times negative is positive 6.4. And since I already opened the parenthesis there, I'm going to erase this parenthesis. It serves no purpose at this point. Let's just take our time and do it out. So we have x squared here, we have x squared here, we could add them. Negative 5.2, just put a 0 there so we can have the spot here for the digits, and a positive 2.25. That should give us 2.95, and the sign is going to be negative because a bigger number has a negative sign. 2.95 x squared, so that part is done. This just comes down, this whole thing comes down with the negative. So negative 7.2x, because there are no other x's. And now we have to figure out these two guys, this guy and this guy. Let's do it here. 6.4, again put a 0 so that you don't mess it up. 5.76. And as a matter of fact, what I'm doing right now, if I were taking the exam myself, I wouldn't waste my time with it. It's going to be 12 something. There is only one answer choice. We already know at this stage in the game, we already know the answer is going to be either C or a D. And obviously it's not D because it's going to be 12 something. 12 something. 12 something. And that's answer choice C. Obviously 6.4 and a 5.76 is not going to give you 0.64. That's for those people who are not paying attention and they forget to change the sign. It becomes a positive. Very good, the answer is C. The answer is C. Let's move on. Question number 9 is very simple, very straightforward. All they're asking here is how much is 2 kilometers in terms of miles. 2 kilometers make how many miles? And they give us the conversion rate. They always give us the conversion rate. This is not something you have to worry about. It's not something we need to memorize. They tell us that 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometers. And the question simply is 2 miles, rather 2 kilometers is approximately how many miles? Let's find out, shall we? And because it is approximately, let's put approximate sign here. We are done with all this thing. I'm going to erase it. There are 2 ways we can go about it. One is more of a traditional way, orthodox way, the classical way, the way your math teacher might do it, which is set it up as a proportion problems. Let's do that way first. So here's our kilometers, and here's our mile, and we are told that 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. And the question simply is, if you have 2 kilometers, how many miles is that? There we go. All you have to do is bring x over there, bring 1.6 there, so x equals 2 divided by 1.6. Now I don't know about you, but I don't like this 1.6 business. I prefer to have whole numbers. It's not a whole number, so let's make it a whole number. How do we do that? Let's multiply top and bottom by 10, so we can get rid of this decimal. 2 times 10 is going to be 20 over 16. 20 over 16 is simply going to be 1 1/4. Simply going to be 1 1/4. And if you don't see that right away, just do it out. Divide top and bottom by 4. That's a 4, and that's a 5. 5/4 is 1 1/4. In other words, 2 kilometers is approximately 1 1/4 miles. So that's one way. Another way we could have done it, let's do it here. Another way we could have done it is by simply using the information that they give us, which is, we know that 1.6 kilometers, we are told, is approximately 1 mile. But we don't need 1.6 kilometers, we need 2 kilometers. We are 0.4 kilometers short. Instead of 1.6, we need 0.4 more. So let's have 0.4 more. 0.4 kilometers. If 1.6 kilometers is 1 mile, then a fourth of that amount should be approximately 1/4 mile. So there you go. 2 kilometers should be approximately 1 1/4. 1 1/4 mile. Just like before. And that was answer choice. That is answer choice B. And that was question number 9. I'm going to stop right here. We'll meet again tomorrow. We're going to pick up from page number 1002. And we're going to carry on our journey. Okay? In the meantime, if you wish to get hold of me, if you would like to hire me as your tutor to get you ready for the exam, if you need help with the math part, or the vocabulary part, or the grammar parts, writing portions, just simply send me an email at keshwaniprep@icloud.com. Alright? Bye now.